Good day, here are today's top stories from the Pna Headlines. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has vowed to improve internet access in Eastern Visayas by using new technologies to reach even remote areas. In a Regional Development Council meeting in Tacloban City, President Marcos said the government has developed a new system to distribute internet service in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas, or GDAs. He said that far-flung areas can take advantage of new technologies aside from the usual access through fiber optic cables and satellites. Summer Governor Shari Ann Tan lauded the president's initiative, saying improved connectivity would significantly benefit the education sector, particularly in reaching out to GDA communities in her province. President Marcos also assured the Council that the administration would work on improving the living conditions of residents in Eastern Visayas. Other concerns discussed included water and electricity, infrastructure, and health services. The Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, or PAGCOR, has pledged a financial grant worth 300 million pesos to the Philippine National Police Academy. PAGCOR's grant will be used to upgrade PNPA's Crime Scene Plaza, which will serve as a training ground for forensic and investigative procedures. It will also cover the construction of an office and dormitory for the PNPA Alumni Association. PAGCOR will also help in the purchase of firearms training simulators, crime mapping, and predictive policing software. PAGCOR Chair and CEO Alejandro Tenco, meanwhile, turned over a check worth 2.2 million pesos for the purchase of a new service vehicle and 100 computer tablets. The state gaming firm will also turn over an ambulance with a GPS navigation system and equipment to the PNPA next week. At the 45th PNPA Alumni Homecoming at Camp General Mariano Castañeda in Silang, Cavite on Friday, Tenco stressed that police cadets must have access to modern facilities and training, as technology is now a crucial aspect of law enforcement. He noted that PAGCOR, through its licensed casino foundations, have contributed nearly 700 million pesos to PNP-related projects since 2017. The Bureau of Immigration is set to implement various reforms following the escape and re-arrest of South Korean fugitive Pna Headlines. BI Commissioner Joel Viado said the agency is ramping up its internal investigation as it identified a large number of personnel who may be involved in Pna's escape. He said they have recommended the preventive suspension of several BI personnel, while 2 contractual workers and a permanent BI employee were already fired. Meanwhile, to prevent similar incidents in the future, Viado ordered the tightening of surveillance, as well as implementing background checks, rotating personnel, and strengthening ties with foreign intelligence agencies. Detainees will also be moved to a more secure facility. Pna, who is wanted in South Korea for fraud and other charges, was initially arrested in the Philippines but managed to escape BI custody on March 4. He was recaptured on March 9. In other local news, police arrested 6 persons and seized illegal vape products worth almost 4 million pesos in Quezon City. PNP Criminal Investigation and Detection Group Director Major General Nicolas Torre III said the suspects were arrested during operations in barangays Bagbag and Ross District on March 12. He said they were found selling and distributing vape products without the necessary permits from the Department of Trade and Industry. The suspects were charged with violations of the Vaporized Nicotine and Non-Nicotine Products Regulation Act, Graphic Health Warnings Law, Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, and Section 10 in relation to Section 18A of the Consumer Act of the Philippines. Torres said the state protects and promotes the right to health. He urged the public to report all illegal trade of vape products and other illegal activities in their respective areas. Moving on to our market wrap, the Philippine Economic Zone Authority has issued guidelines for establishing and registering pharmazones or pharmaceutical zones, which will serve as hubs for companies involved in medical and drug manufacturing. The guidelines approved by the PEZA board chaired by Trade Secretary Maria Cristina Roque in February outlined incentives for pharmazone developers, operators, and registered business enterprises. PEZA Director General Tereso Panga said the proposed pharmazones will serve to attract investments, advance technology, lower prices, and boost local production and jobs, enhancing the Philippines' role in the global pharmaceutical market. Meanwhile, Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation Chief Economist Michael Ricafort predicts that the Philippine economy will improve this year despite the political noise, geopolitical threats, and tariff wars. Ricafort said the impact of former President Rodrigo Duterte's arrest on March 11 is minimal. He said the process could send positive signals on respect for the rule of law and institutions. He added that the country's strong economic fundamentals continue to allow government efforts to attract investors. Meanwhile, Ricafort emphasized that U.S. President Donald Trump's protectionist policies pose a bigger risk to economic growth. He said strict immigration rules may impact overseas Filipino workers' remittance, which could affect global trade, investment, and employment. In other news, DoubleDragon Corporation has pledged 18.2 million pesos to subsidize 12 months of SSS contributions for 2,000 informal workers in Iloilo and Rojas City. DoubleDragon formally signed a memorandum of agreement to register as a contribution subsidy provider through the SSS Contribution Subsidy Provider Program. The program aims to encourage government entities and business to support Filipino workers. Social Security System President and CEO Robert Declaros said that the SSS contribution subsidy will support the 2,000 informal workers and their families by allowing them to become SSS members. And that's the latest and the biggest stories on the Pna Headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. The Pna Headlines is also streamed via the Servicio Facebook page. You may also watch the Pna Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. I am Marita Muaje. This is the Pna Headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.